it's just a legal issue. I don't want anything to embarrass you politically or anything else. This is a legal procedure within the authority of the court, unless this court is not free court. Someone is controlling you. So why don't you? The master who is not a master, the United States, the Americans, if they are controlling this court, or the others, the ones that they brought to the authority, are controlling. This is all I'm requesting, legal requests. I don't want to repeat them. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are requests by the lawyers. Why don't you accommodate them? How can someone have a case that complicated without a lawyer? If me personally, my case, my cause, my struggle, my life, if you look at it, it's not too much that they bring 1,000 lawyers for me. Fill the whole court. In 1964, when Saddam Hussein, a student in the law school, was also a leader in a party. 64, you were in the law school? Yes, in 1964. 68 lawyers, volunteers to defend me, free of charge. Thank God for them, protect them, may God protect them, and enable them to do good deeds. So I found myself few lawyers, half of them killed. Is this moral? Do you accept that to happen? This, despite what you think about me, despite your opinions, is this acceptable? I've been the president for 35 years and more than 40 years carrying the struggle for the people. Would you accept that morally? Lawyers volunteering free of charge and they get killed? I don't accept that. Listen, the judge, listen, you said I'm going to say a few words. Now this is a speech. If you have a speech, now keep it for yourself. You said few words. You understand the Arabic language. You know the difference between, judge, this is legal speech. A speech by Saddam Hussein is not something small. You know me when I have a speech. When I say something, I mean a lot. So, is it too much to protect the lawyers? They are asking for protection, nothing else. And when they requested that, I support them. I'm convinced that it's their right legally to receive these protection and even more. I worked with them, I support them. I have a hunger strike to show the world that we are serious, and I declined to attend. Listen, now you are in a position to defend yourself, or are you defending your lawyers? Make up your mind. I refuse the wrong any place in the world, even if it's not in my country. Yes, it's your right. This is a humanitarian position. I grew up to be a humanitarian person. Maybe some of you, you know me, you lived under me and you know that about me. And based on that, I refuse to attend in front of this court because of all what I mentioned now and before. I support my lawyers. At the same time, the court have the right to make the decision that see fit when and for whoever the court wants. Thank you. Sit down. Please, have a seat. Saddam, I need to leave. No, sit in your chair. Any lawyer that the court will appoint is an enemy of the people, and the people will kill him. Listen. I want to read to you the law of 1971 that is modified under you when you were the president of the country. This is a law that issued in your time. Listen, let me read it to you. Article 145. The defendant should arrive in the courts even if the lawyer does not attend. This is the words of the code, the law that issued by you. Now you are denying this law after you fell? No, I'm with the law. But it should be applied correctly. The judge. Okay, we are applying it correctly. The general opinion, Judge Rauf, Your Honor, please. No, you listen. You said you're sick. We are not forcing you to bring you here, despite your will. This is the letter that was issued by the doctor in 26 of this month, 2006. The letter is issued for me from the physician. We examined Mr. Saddam Hussein this morning to see his health condition, and we discovered that he can attend before the courts in all his strength. Signature, the doctor. Yes, and even after 10 months, I'm still strong. I will come here. The judge. This report is part of the record of this court. Saddam, I didn't say I am sick. I said hunger strike. Can you imagine? 20 days Saddam Hussein is not eating. Do you think I would come here and I would not be able to speak? The judge. Listen, we're wasting our time. Now, the first thing, I would like to listen to the appointed lawyers. Bring them. Saddam, I refuse those lawyers. The judge, yeah, okay, refuse whatever you want. The judge will apply the law. I don't care if you accept or refuse. No, judge. The law said that the court appoints lawyers, but if so-called defendant cannot hire lawyers, then you hire lawyers. Okay, where is your lawyers? Judge, I am capable. I can afford lawyers. Where are your lawyers? Your lawyers are sitting in foreign countries in front of the TV cameras. You call those lawyers? You call those lawyers? Yes, my lawyers are the most honorable lawyers. They are going out of the country and they keep talking and they get paid billions of dollars and they are enticing violence. Listen, Saddam Hussein, listen. It's better that the lawyers that you bring them to me and they are getting paid by dollars. Listen, Saddam, your lawyers are getting paid millions of dinars. Those are not lawyers. They entice violence. I know my lawyers, Judge. They are all volunteers. Look, we called them. We told them when is the session, and we asked them to come represent you. Now they keep talking about politics. Now you are a man who can understand. We're read, and you know the world, history and current. Have you ever seen lawyers go to foreign capitals in front of the TVs every day giving political speech while the man he represents is in court waiting for them? You call those lawyers? Those are people that are enticing people. But despite that, we will finish the court. We will carry justice, God's willing. The appointed lawyer, please start. Saddam, are you my enemy? No, he represents you. Saddam, why do you become the enemy of the people? Why? Mr. Lawyer, please. In the name of God, kind and most merciful, the head of the main judge. This speech is written by the Canadian man, this Canadian guy. I challenge him if he can write 20 lines. This spy, the American agent, the Canadian. Listen, just listen to it, and if you object, you can object. He didn't even start. He didn't even complete in the name of God. Judge Rauf. I understand you object. I understand your object. I wrote your object in the record. I don't want my history to be unclean, become unclean because of this defense. Mr. Lawyer, please start. In the name of God, kind and most merciful, head judge of the Superior Court in Iraq, the respectable one, the members of the court, the speech of the defense for Saddam Hussein. Greetings and respect to the court, based on your appointing as a lawyer. Please come closer to the microphone. Please bring water for him. As a lawyer appointed for Saddam Hussein, the previous president of Iraq, in the case of Al-Judail, the well-known one, I attended most of the sessions of this court when his lawyers abandoned him to defend him. I will carry out this duty instead of them as much as I can, as much as I read what happened in the jail in 87, 82, when my client went to Al-Judail and he was under fire attack from the guardians surrounding the city. Therefore, the government took actions on the same level of the seriousness of the accident, especially that the attempt was specialized or focused against the president of the country and the head of the armed forces and the leader of the political party during the time of war against Iran. Because it is not unusual that the security forces of the country and the forces of the party and the military carry out investigation and follow-up and take the necessary action. They arrested large number of people. They led them to the Revolution Court. They sentenced 148 to death and a large number to be imprisoned. They were taken to the Leah Desert in As-Samawa. They destroyed all the gardens surrounding the city in Al-Judail. The prosecutor listed all the accusations against my client according to Articles 12, 13, 14, and 15. Number 10, 2005. In regards of the crimes against humanity, war crimes, and ethnic cleansing. His followers could not have taken this without his permission or with oral orders. These accusations need very strong evidence. Our client did not admit any of these accusations, except destroying the gardens, and the reason for that increasing the width of the roads around the city. If some people said that he approved the sentences for the 148 people, and I think he does not have. We should not prosecute him for that. The court took the immunity from my client, which is unrealistic and illegal. This law against Article number 1 of the Criminal 111/1969 that is modified, even though this modification is against the constitution, the current constitution of the Iraqi government right now, the Iraqi country. You cannot use new law against my client for things he did before the issuance of that law, especially that it is not in his best interest. Your court is responsible about the correct application of the law and the accusation against my client, according to 111/2005, and opposing the constitution of the new constitution of Iraq. Therefore, I ask the court that he is not responsible and that he is innocent, and you release him according to the new laws, the old laws. Please accept my respect. This document was issued in 24 IR in 84 in the name of the President Saddam Hussein, and they removed the 148 cases based on the Iraqi laws and based on the results of the intelligence court. 1 minute, please. 1 minute, please. I want to have a question here. What is the meaning in the name of Saddam Hussein here? This is not my job. Writing a letter to move the case from one entity to the other. No, listen, this is from your office in the name of the presidency. This is legal. Yes, but we need to put the right names on the right issues. Yeah, let me explain to you. In your office, there was a legal department, and there is a decision they make, but in your name. There is a difference here. And I'm not going to say it in the courts out of respect, but I will make my comment. Yes. The legal department doesn't move cases, but give opinions if they want. The people that move the case from one office to the other is my office. But to say in the name of Saddam Hussein, this is too much or on purpose. Of course, the office is related to me. Yes, but what he meant is that they seek your approval. This is the net result. They took your approval. They received your approval as the president of the country, and the letter will be issued by the director of the legal department. Judge, my approval after sentencing. In any case, when they come to me, and but the department, they can remove it from one department to the other. But the president, they only bring him after sentences, capital punishments, death punishment, like what you said, like what the lawyer said, a thief or a killer or a conspirator. When they sentence them, they bring the sentence to me to say yes or no or move it. Saddam, listen, you were the president of a very central government. So the decisions about death sentences, they will send it to the court. This was not easy tasks. You were the one who decided. Anything has my signature, I'm responsible about. The prosecutor. Now, you have seen documents, And Your Honor, you can look at it again. It was in his signature, with his signature. Well, but I want to tell you, with his signature or without his signature, it's still his will. Listen, any death sentence with my signature on it, I'm responsible about it, the judge. The documents that we have is still under consideration. Yes, the defendant can discuss. Yes, yes, the same. I agree with you. I don't argue with you. Listen, the defendant can and should discuss. We gave him the complete opportunity. Yes, that's his right. And these clarifications are good for the courts and good for the justice. So there is no limit for all the clarification that he can visit. The prosecutor, we thank the court and we ask the court to give him even more opportunity to clarify. Good. No, Saddam, no. This is not defending myself. This is defending Iraq. The judge, to defend the status quo at your time. You're trying to clarify the situation when you were president. So that means one way or another that you're defending Iraq. I'm defending Iraq, the people, the cause of the people. The case of the Defense Assembly regarding the participation of Saddam Hussein in the alleged crimes. They claim that the testimony of some of the people or all the testimonies are in harmony, in accordance with each other. The evidence, when it's taken together in its totality, it reduces the value of the testimonies about the participation of Saddam Hussein. In 1972, the evidence that was read during the court that said that number of the actions was taken by the authorities of the government in response to the attempt on his life, the Defense Assembly stated that we should not mix the essential actions of the government with the individual action if these actions were unfair, and that the main officials are responsible on their personal actions. The Defense Assembly shows Saddam the assumed or the legal. Don't you want to talk legal? The judge, okay, write it in the record. According to his constitutional authority. Please write this in the court records. Please continue. In 8 July, there was an attack that was not mentioned in this evidence for those who were participating in the attempt on his life. During this attack, a large number of people were killed. A large number from people in the Janis were arrested, including women and children, after the attempt. Unspecified number of people were arrested, and after they were arrested, they were tortured while they are in prison. 46 people. 1 minute. Saddam. This man is speaking as my defense. The defense should not assume and bring things out of their pockets like magicians, unless it's in the best interest of their clients. When they come up with these conclusions and it's not in my best interests, and still he say it, then he exposed himself. The judge, what do you mean? Saddam, someone comes to defend Judge Raouf, for example. Why are you bringing me to the middle of this? Okay, person X, okay, person X, not you. Yes. When a lawyer comes to defend him, When they conclude something by their own ways, in the legal ways, they need to have support, legal support. And then, if the conclusion is in the favor of their clients, then they say it. But when they are not even relying on any legal basis and come up with conclusions that are negative against their client, yet they say it, then they have ulterior motive, and they have preconceived notions, and they're coming here with their own agenda. So this guy that he's talking, whatever he's talking about, have nothing to do with realities. And this is have negative influence on what's called defendants. Okay. Let me, the judge, let me clarify a very important legal point. There is nothing called the accused. The accused during the court is defendant. We issue for or release or innocence based on what the defense gives us. There is nothing called accused. The person at all cases is defendant. He may be innocent. Maybe he doesn't have enough evidence, yet he's still a defendant. Yes, I understand this legal point. The prosecutor, 1 minute, please. I want to thank the lawyer, the appointed lawyer. However, since the defendant did not select him and that the court appointed them, then we ask you, Your Honor, that any sentence that in the defense that hurt the defendant, please remove it and only take what's in the best interest of the defendant. If the defendant chose the lawyers, then everything should be considered. But since they were appointed, then I ask you, Your Honor, to only take the parts in favor of the defendant and leave out what's against him, and thank you very much. Mr. Prosecutor, he exercised this right from the beginning of today, since he started reading, when the lawyer read. Saddam, I did not exercise my total right. I did not, but I just gave few remarks. Comments. Please do not interrupt the court. Mr. Prosecutor, he exercised his rights, and I told him he can, during the upcoming time, he can ask the old ones to come back, and we will consider their defense, or according to his will, he can have new lawyers, and he can have like an attachment to this defense or appendix to this defense, and we will consider it and we will study it. In addition to the prosecutor, in addition to that, sir, I will this defense, when it's in front of you, when you're reading the defense today, please, any point that you think will hurt him, remove it. Only the good stuff that in his best interest should be kept, and thank you very much. This is under the consideration of the court and God's willing. Oh, Saddam, okay, now he's talking legal. We told you we will consider all what you said and all what they said. And here, the standard in the court, we have to look for what's the best for you. Whatever is better for the defendant in front of the court. This should be very clear to you. Your Honor, Judge, Your Honor, if the chance that you give to Saddam Hussein, the only chance to select my lawyers, and if they accept to come and defend me, if the defense will be in addition to what's happening today, no, thank you, I don't need that. But if instead of today's defense? Yes, I agree, and I will try to find, and I will talk to the lawyers. Please, let me explain to you and to everybody listening to me right now. Everything mentioned in front of the court during the sessions, everything is considered and studied except the nasty language and except anything that can hurt people or entities, and it will be taken out of the record. Anything else is in the records, but the court, when they study and when they consider the defense and the accusations, the courts have to select the text which is the best for the defendant. You need to understand that. Your Honor, study, and when you decide that I choose the lawyers or my lawyers didn't show up and I choose others, I want you to consider their defense is the main defense and not an attachment. If you refuse my request, I'm not interested in bringing any, and I'm not going to try. Listen. These issues from the legal point of view in Iraq and the rest of the Arab countries and even internationally, it all rely on the point of view of the judges and the courts, and the judge traditionally will select what's in the best interest of the defendant, and we are following this rule in Iraq, Arab countries, and we can even select laws that exist in any other country that's in your best interest. Even that. So, we accept your conditions and we stop this defense and take this defense? No. You cannot give your conditions to this court. No, sir. I don't want to argue. I don't want to give you conditions. You have the freedom of whatever you want to do. However, I want to bring your attention that this case is different, and there is legal differences that you bring defense, that you bring to so-called defendants, and he doesn't accept them. I am capable of bringing good defense lawyers. Because of the conditions, I have a problem obtaining a lawyer, but I have the capability. But if you give me a chance, I need to talk to the old lawyers or the new ones, and in this case, they become my defense with your approval. And because this is an excessive, Your Honor, we can remove this appointed defense and rely on the new defense. The judge, your request to consider this, I will. On one condition. I will consider it on one condition, that your original lawyers or the new ones should come and present their defense in the next session. Immediately. Because we don't have time. And you as defendant, Your Honor, we are not in a hurry. Why, Your Honor? Why you are in a hurry? Listen, Saddam, no one is comfortable about here. Judge, listen to me. I ask you as an Iraqi to Iraqi, if you are forced to issue a sentence against me, life sentence, please remember I'm a military man. I'm a military man. If you want to kill me, shoot me. Don't hang me like any other criminal. Death squad, this is my request. I beg you to do that. The rest, do whatever you want. Listen. God is my witness. Until this moment, the court doesn't have any opinion regarding you. regarding the type of sentence, the length of sentence, or anything. We will re-examine every word in the record of this court from the beginning till the end, and we will examine the truth, and we will examine the witnesses, the statements, voice statement, written statement, and others until we form an opinion. And this type, high or low, until now it's not in front of us. Saddam, I'm not asking anything from you, but if someone forced your hand to issue a death sentence, whether you or other judge, listen, this I consider an insult to the courts. No, Your Honor, this is not an insult. No one, even you, if you are still the president, if you come back as the president and you order this court, I will not take it. Your Honor, I wouldn't do that. You know that. I would not do it. I am a judge. And I have conscience. No one forced me to say anything. Listen, Saddam Hussein. Everybody should listen, and by Allah, the great God, in front of this, and now and forever, anybody, whoever is, who wants to influence and force his opinion on this court, I will not stay here for a second. More power to you. More power to you. Listen, I don't need you to tell me power to you. You are a defendant, I'm a judge. And my strength comes from God. In the opinion of the defense, that regarding these parts of the accusation, there is no proof that the defendants personally participated in the accusation mentioned in the prosecution statements, and the lack of the evidence shows that the defendants did not have a direct orders that he gave to his followers in regards to the illegal action that they took. And especially after a long time of its happening in 1987. It doesn't make any sense. We cannot say that he failed to issue the right safeguards to stop these illegal actions. It's not normal that this would happen, and the defense office will prove that the defendant did not have time to prove his innocence. We simply say that the failure of the presidential office did not give a clear indication to his guilt. The third and the last of this legal cause, the appearance of the courts, they did not have enough people or qualified people for investigation. The investigation was not legal. In addition, the office of the president did not show an evidence that they were having a direct contact with the investigators during the court, before and after the court, and the special court. And in regards to what the lawyer of the defendant submitted in 2005, that this court is not in charge or have the authority or the jurisdiction for this case, we ask you respectfully to address this issue and furthermore study it. Also, the High Court, and is the High Court is the right court to have Saddam Hussein case. The international law, when the president of the country or the ex-president of a country regarding international law violation should be in front of international court. and as the case against Slobodan Milosevic and other cases. Finally, the defense understands that the criminal evidence that the court cannot, at least in some of the accusation, be the suitable court to look into this case. If he is guilty in one of the charges that have capital punishment, we would like to say that the court should be very careful before they issue the death sentence. We want to remind you that any conclusion should be based on the evidence and the law. The court have the right to use any sentence and to reach any conclusion. The defense, we feel we are unable to make a decision whether the death of one man is necessary despite what he did. We are concerned about the conscience of our job, that everybody is equal in front of the law. We are not asking that mercy for him if he is guilty. Saddam, I ask for mercy only from God, not from you. However, we feel that we don't want to get involved in that. We feel we're more comfortable that to say that if Saddam Hussein is guilty in some and all, he will not be rehabilitated. He is beyond repair. We are commenting not as lawyers, but as citizens of this country. Our feeling in this court today, all of us, we suffered during the last 35 years. We lost members of our families. And those who are lucky, they were just tortured and not killed. We are unbiased whether he should, that he was part of the suffering or not. We did not issue an opinion. However, finally, large number of the Iraqi people died without reason. For a long time and years, the judges and the people in the authority that worked to bring law again to Iraq, they rescued their life in Baghdad and they got killed. Tens of the people were killed before we are leaving the court today. Every day, more killing. We ask God to spare us this suffering and give us hope. I hope God will do that soon. During this time, violence will continue in our country. The question we're asking, is Iraq benefit from the death of this man, even if the death of this man that doesn't deserve to live? Our position, his life, this defendant in front of you, we should keep it, because the whole world will ask, why did we do that? It will leave sour notes all over the Arab countries. It will cause, we need to forget our bitter history and move forward. Now we have suffering, new sufferings to install harmony in this country. We want to save every life, even the life of Saddam Hussein. We know if you find him guilty and you did not kill him, that will be, or if you kill him, that will cause a lot of problems in the Arab countries. We believe that you will be serving Iraq if you don't judge him by death, if you don't kill him. Don't give him the status of a martyr. Your Honor, you will be serving the public interest more than if you killed him or sentenced him to death. Because even though he doesn't deserve to live, be polite, don't say this person. The judge, let him finish. My final conclusion, by not killing Saddam Hussein, you will be participating in the new harmony in Iraq and getting the country out of this pit of fire, even though that there are good reasons for him to be sentenced to death. Thank you very much for your lousy defense. Do you have a final word? Please speak only about Al-Dujail. Please, 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 Your Honor. Please, Your Honor. Your Honor, you spoke about politics from your chair. You are a judge and you spoke about politics. You talked about people getting killed. And you are a judge. You are impartial. Listen, I will not allow you to discuss anything but Al-Dujail case. Then I'm going to thank you. I'm going to sit down. Yes, I will not allow you to speak about anything else but Al-Dujail. Right in the record. He doesn't want to speak. But I want to tell him about what he read. Your Honor, so you know, and you know what's going on. He's talking about Yugoslavia and Rwanda, and he's not using the Iraqi law toward the end, except toward the end. So that's what we became. That's what happened to Iraq. This is very insulting. Do you have any remarks regarding Al-Dujail? Why don't he talk about Brussels, the court of Brussels? Why didn't he mention it? Yes, the crimes that were committed is against humanity, against international laws. If you have anything for the jail, we will listen to you. Any other speeches, it will not be allowed, and you can give it to the court. No? You don't have a speech?
ترفع الجلسة.
Court adjourned.
وتباشر المحكمة يوم غد.